Hi everyone. How's it going tonight? Hi, I'm Linda Curley, and I just wanted to talk tonight and just kind of share a little bit. I hope that if you come on here and you see this, I would love it if you would let me know if this is the first time you've ever spent some time with me on one of these lives. Then I'd appreciate it if you would just let me know in the comments first time. And if you are a friend who has joined me before, then please be sure and say hi, wave at me, okay? And I just want to spend some time tonight just sharing a little bit with you from my heart. And so we're going to get right into it. This is, hi Melanie, it's good to see you. So this is titled, Lose Weight and Feel Great. So I just want to go back to talk a little bit about kind of my history and my story, because it really explains, I think, more of the level of amazement and surprise that I'm experiencing today. And so I'm going to start. Hi, Melanie. So, my story, I have my whole life, honestly, struggled with my weight. It has been something that has always been, up and down in my life. When I was young and I was active and everything, but I still would never have been classified as a skinny girl. Never was thin, was never something that I was called. I was always, a little overweight, a little heavy, a little chunky. Those kinds of words, were always used in my life, to describe me. And the big girl, even though I'm not very tall, I'm just average height, 5'5", but I was always kind of the big girl. And even though like I said, I was active, I loved sports, and I did play sports. It was something that was just a fact of life for me. I was never going to be the skinny girl, and so it was something that I dealt with, my whole life. And I'm sure that so many of you can relate. You can probably relate to even teasing. Some of you may have even suffered at the hands of bullies, and which is just horrible. Hi Nelda, it's nice to see you. And that's just horrible, and no child, young person should ever have to go through that. But let's face it, it's a reality that a lot of us have faced, dealt with in our lives, and hopefully we're in a time when some of that is diminishing. But I think there's just always going to be those people who are dealing with their own insecurities in their own hearts, in their own lives. And because of those insecurities, they end up, hurting others. And that's, I think, just a fact of life that we all learn as we grow older. And we can kind of get perspective and realize that maybe that's where that person was coming from. And just, and then we have to forgive and move on, right? Because otherwise we're just hurting ourselves, and we don't need to carry that baggage on top of everything else. And so that's my story. I've always, I've always struggled. So many times I've tried to lose weight. I'll tell you that I had a baby when I was very young. I was only 15 years old when I had my first baby. I was very naive teenager, and so anyway, I had my first baby at 15, and so the weight really piled on after having that baby. And I tried different, weight loss programs. I've tried so many of them out there. I can't even remember and name them all. I know I tried Weight Watchers. I remember my mom struggling with her weight as I was growing up also. And I remember her doing Weight Watchers and her doing different exercise programs and gym programs. And I don't know, there was one gym that she went to where, you know, you see those retro videos or pictures of the woman standing on that machine, and the band goes around her behind and it's like jiggling and shaking her. Yeah, my mom, I actually watched my mom stand in one of those things, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that looks like a torture instrument, you know. But she, you know, she struggled, and she, you know, was always trying to lose weight. And so I kind of, you know, inherited those same genes and tendencies. And so, you know, like I said, I've done program after program, you know, and then, you know, you get pregnant and you have babies, and guess what? You put it on again. And I struggled with, actually right before I met my husband and got married, I had pretty severe gallbladder issues. There was a period of time there where I actually, it's not the kind of diet plan I recommend. I lost 70 pounds in like a very short period of time. It was because I couldn't eat at all. I was in so much pain every day. I literally couldn't eat more than like a piece of toast a day. And it was a pretty challenging time of life. I also, my car had broke down, and so I was walking everywhere. So the combination of those two things, and yeah, sure, you stop eating, you're gonna lose weight. That's not really healthy, you know. It's not a healthy way. And so honestly, you know, I did lose that weight, but soon after got married, and then got pregnant right away, and had my second child. And so pretty much for the next 5.5 years, I was pregnant or nursing, you know, because I was, you know, at that point I was in my 30s, and we were like, oh, if we're going to have kids, we better, you know, do it. So yeah, so we had 6 children during that period of time. We lost one. Our son passed away when he was 8 days old from a heart condition. And so, you know, that was just a lot of stuff. And I remember when our last were actually twins. And I remember saying, yeah, if we'd had them first, we may not have had all the others. So it's a blessing they came when they did. But, you know, my twins, so I remember I had 5 children, basically 5 years of age and under. And I remember going to the doctor at about, I'd say the twins were like between 6 and 8 months old, right about that time. And I remember my doctor, I just said to my doctor, I'm just so tired. I can't function. And mind you, I've always worked full time. I didn't have the luxury of being able to stay home, be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, we needed the 2 incomes to be able to provide for all of those kids and to survive, you know. So I just went to him and I said, I am so tired. I just can't even function. I fall asleep at work. I need help, you know. And I remember him looking at me and he said, you know, he said, I could run all kinds of expensive tests. And he said, and I could even prescribe you a bunch of medication, but the bottom line, and to be completely honest, he said, I just think you're exhausted. He said, you just need to find a way to get some rest. And he said, I realize that's got to be challenging considering your circumstances, 5 children, and, you know, having to work a full-time job outside the home. But he said, you've got to find a way. And so I remember leaving there just bawling my eyes out because I was like, I wanted that magical cure, you know. I wanted that pill. I wanted something. I wanted him to tell me something was wrong with me so that I could feel like I had more of an excuse other than I'm just exhausted because I have these children and this job and I'm trying to do it all, right? But I learned a really, really, really valuable lesson at that time, and it was that you do have to learn how to give your body and your mind and your spirit rest. And I recognize that at certain times in our lives, it just seems almost impossible. But we really have to work on, just figuring out ways that we can schedule those moments of time, that we can schedule that rest that we need, and do everything possible to take care of ourselves. And I think that it's so common, especially for us women. I think we see it more, being often the ones who are the caregivers. Not that men can't be. In fact, my husband was the main caregiver for our children for a few years. And so I totally see that. But, I think that as women, we just take it all on ourselves, and we just think that, we're just not a good wife, a good mom, if we're not doing it all, right? If we're not the ones that are, cooking the meals and, and cleaning the house and making sure everything's just right, and the kids have got their clothes and they've got their lunches and they've got, and then you've got the pictures you got to get done, and you've got the school activities, and then, and it's crazy. And I get that. I totally get it, and so that was that season of life when, I felt much of the time overwhelmed. Trying to lose weight or, take care of myself in any way was like so on my back burner. It just wasn't happening, And so during that time, I know that I caused a lot of damage to my own body because I didn't take care of myself, And, I mentioned before about how I was having the gallbladder issues. Well, during that time, in between actually my son and the twins, I did have to have my gallbladder out. It had become diseased, and so that, took me down for a little bit. And then a year later, my appendix decided to go bad, which I guess isn't uncommon if you've had your gallbladder out. Didn't know that till then, but yeah, so a year later, had to have my appendix out. But, just dealing with all of that has really taught me a lesson about self-care, about learning how to slow down and take care of yourself. And now I'm moving into a time of life where actually, like my oldest has been out of the house for quite some time, but the three of the five that we had, two of those have already moved out and are on their own. So we have three left at home. They're juniors and a senior in high school. So now I'm starting to look at that time of life where I could have an empty nest in the very near future. And so it's, maybe it seems sometimes like it's easier to find that time and to schedule out that time. But I tell you what, you can find ways to fill your time and be doing and doing and doing and forgetting to still self-care and take care of yourself. And so, like I said, that was something that I learned, and I'd have to say even as recent as within the last year and a half, I learned even more because my oldest daughter suffered a traumatic brain injury in a car accident. And that was so difficult for all of us, but I mean for her, of course, the most. But as she began to try to recover from all of that, we began to learn some things about, taking care of yourself, and about, the kinds of things that are in our lives, everyday lives, that are pollutants, that are maybe the products that we're taking or using are not as healthy and as good for us as maybe we think they are, or as they could be. And as I began to learn more and more about these things, I began to search out and seek out ways to limit the amount of pollutants, the amount of, you know, the inorganics, the things that could come into our lives and into our home and into our bodies that were not only not healthy but even toxic at times. And so as I began to search for those things, I just became so much more aware of what did the words natural mean, and organic, and non-GMO, and what did all of that mean, and how was it significant, and how does it impact us. And one of the things that my daughter started having to seek out, because honestly, medications that were being prescribed to her were so full of just side effects, things that just a long list of side effects, and she would have those side effects, and so then she'd have to have other medications, to counteract those side effects. And it was just so heart-wrenching to watch her go through this, and to see, and then to realize that not only were there side effects, but there were potential long-term effects, there were potential allergic reactions, there were all these other things. And so she began to search out more natural and organic ways to care for herself, and to get the relief from symptoms that she was having. A traumatic brain injury, concussion. If anybody's had a concussion, that you can have things like obviously you have the memory issues. She actually almost has a block on the entire year leading up to the accident. Like, there are a lot of things missing from that year prior to the accident. So definite, memory issues. The other things that she deals with are photosensitivity, sensitivity to light, where she can't stand bright lights, has to wear sunglasses, even indoors sometimes. She can only, handle being on a computer or on her phone for short periods of time because of that. She has had to deal with even problems with her speech, becoming aphasic, if you know what that means. Basically having difficulties with coming up with words, and then also with just articulation, literally the function of speaking. And so she was having difficulty with that, difficulty with her balance, difficulty with muscle weakness, difficulty even seeing. Her vision changed, severe headaches, difficulty with anxiety now, and panic attacks that she had never had before, depression, being extra emotional, and having little control over her emotions. And the list kind of goes on of all these things. She literally started dealing with weakness in, and almost to the point where she had the appearance as though she had had a stroke. And of course they said there was no evidence that she had had a stroke, but she at times had that appearance as though she had had a stroke. And it was scary. It was scary for her. It was scary for her family, for all of us, and so again, she started seeking out these more natural ways to deal with the symptoms. And we, started looking for people that to consult with, and these treatments. And she was able to find some different treatments, and find like hyperbaric treatment, which unfortunately is very expensive, not covered by insurance, but something that she did gain a lot of relief from. Unfortunately, she was only able to go through the one session of treatments, and then a few months later ended up having a seizure, and that's brought on basically a setback in her symptoms, and now doesn't have the money to go on and get that treatment again, which would likely be very helpful to her. So we've had to look for, again, other ways to help reduce her symptoms that were not expensive, and one of those was CBD. Now, she had looked at and tried different brands, and I had even gone ahead and tried a couple brands for my other daughter, who deals with Crohn's disease. And so, because, we wanted to see if there was some natural ways that we could deal with her symptoms also, with her disease. And so, there was some relief for my oldest in some of her symptoms, but it wasn't very significant, And so I happened to hear, and I'm just a friend who's wanting to share with you my story, and if you can see if you can relate. And one of my friends shared her story, and suddenly I could relate to her. And she was sharing with that she had started using this particular CBD for her son, and he had had an amazing relief in his symptoms related to difficulty with concentration, difficulty with managing his own behavior, kind of antisocial in ways too, difficulty in social situations, didn't want to relate to kids his own age, challenges at school because of all of that, and how after taking this CBD he had improved so much. And so I was like, wow, that's an amazing story. And I thought, she also talked about how not all CBDs are created equal. And so I thought, well, then what do we have to lose? We should give it a try. And so I got some for my daughter with Crohn's, and after 2 days she said that she'd had some relief in symptoms, and also was able to sleep better. So then I wanted my oldest to get it to try it and see if it made any difference for her compared to the other ones she had tried. And sure enough, it was this mama's heart was just like, I was in tears when she texted me and said that the first night that she took this CBD oil, she had, prior to that, not been able to fall asleep till 4 a.m. every night, and was not getting good sleep. When she did fall asleep, was not able to stay asleep very long. The first night that she took this CBD oil, she fell asleep at midnight, you guys. She fell asleep at midnight. That's 4 hours earlier. And she was able to get a good night's rest. And I don't know if you know anything about brain injuries, but that is huge because rest is so important. Your brain needs rest in order for it to heal. And so for her to be able to get that good sleep was just amazing. And so not only that, but it helped to reduce her symptoms related to the anxiety. She was literally at the point where, she couldn't spend very much time with her family because of, just the commotion of life. It would just exhaust her, and it would wear her out so bad. And she would, end up in so much pain, headache, that she couldn't tolerate it. So she could only be with her family for short periods of time. And that is just, and then after spending that time with them, would be so exhausted. Like anything that she did, she would be so exhausted. So for her to get the relief in those symptoms was huge. So after we saw that it was working for our daughter with Crohn's, it was, providing her relief, I thought, well, why shouldn't we try it too? It might have some benefits for us. And my husband definitely deals with things like insomnia, so I was like, we need to give this a try. And so we did. We started, hi Mike, nice to see you tonight. So we started taking the CBD oil, and it made such a difference right away for me in my sleep. Like, I didn't know that I always thought I'm just not a morning person, like I just hate mornings. And every morning when that alarm clock would go off, I would be like hitting the snooze because I didn't want to get up. I felt so tired. I felt exhausted after supposedly sleeping. And it didn't seem to matter what time I'd gone to bed or fallen asleep, I was still waking up exhausted. And I couldn't understand that. And so, but the first night that I took the CBD oil, I slept so amazing. When that alarm went off in the morning, I did not hit the snooze. I got right up out of bed. I was awake and ready for my day. And it was like a complete turnaround for me. I was like, wait, what? Like normally, don't talk to me. I need my coffee, that kind of thing. Now, I love coffee, but like I needed that coffee, and it was, and for that to not be the case, it was like a complete turnaround. What I then also began to notice as I continued to take it was that my joints stopped hurting. Like I didn't have joint pain anymore. Then another thing I started to notice was that my daily headaches, seriously, I was getting a headache every single day. And I always used to think, well, it's is it my vision? But I get my eyes checked. I, had glasses. I had glasses for reading, glasses for, driving, and it didn't make any difference. I still had a headache every single day. I was taking way too much ibuprofen. In fact, I'd already had a doctor tell me that I was showing signs of liver damage. And I was like, this is not good, but how do you function all the time in pain? And so, I started taking the CBD oil, and guess what? I didn't have the daily headaches anymore. They were gone. In the last, I started taking it the end of September, first part of October, and I can count maybe 3 headaches that I've had since then. And all 3 times, there was only one time when I used anything other than CBD to take the pain away. Only one time out of the last, since October. So to me, that was huge. I mean, that just, that's a quality of life issue, Hi, Kay. That's a quality of life issue, to deal with daily pain and to have to take medications to feel like you can even function is not, quality life. And so that was gone. That was absolutely gone. And I'm so grateful and feel so blessed to have found this product and to realize that, it's able to do this. And so what I then began to realize, and so we started this whole thing out with me talking about struggling with weight loss, but I had decided this last year, about July, that it was absolutely, I had to lose weight. I absolutely had to. It was affecting my health. I was, and I needed to do something. And so I made a decision, and I was like, whatever it costs, I'm going to make this happen. It has to be a priority because I want to be around, I want to be around for my kids and to do the things that need to be done and the things that I want to do with them. But not only them, my grandkids, and I have great grandkids. Did you know that? I have 2 great grandchildren. I want to be around for all of them and all of the things that they're doing. And, I've got graduation coming up this summer. I've got 2 graduating the summer after. I've got grandkids and the things that they're doing, and there's going to be college in some of their futures, and and then the great grandkids and all their activities, and I want to be part of that. I want to be involved. And so I want to have the best health I can possibly have. And so I made a decision that I've got to, do something about this. So I did start a low carb eating program. Okay. So I started that in July, and towards the end of July. And I had started to lose weight. Okay. Just getting rid of, those carbs, the white flour carbs, the sugar, no more sugar, getting rid of this, even like starchier vegetables, and just, and even no fruit, and just sticking to, low carb and high protein eating program. And in doing so, yeah, I did start to lose weight. But it was kind of slow going, as is kind of par for the course with me. And then I started, taking the CBD oil. I had no idea that a possible benefit of the CBD oil could be weight loss. But I started to realize, wait a minute, my weight loss every week as I was weighing myself was like increasing. I was losing more. I was losing it consistently. I wasn't going up and down on the scale a lot. It was really just consistently down, down, down every single week. I haven't plateaued, which has never happened with me on any kind of, healthy eating program or diet. It's never happened before. I've always plateaued. I've always hit those times when, this week you gained back everything you'd lost the week before, plus added some. And it was like, what? And just unexplainable. And where with this, that hasn't happened. I've just had this consistent weight loss. It's been amazing. So total weight loss has been 57 pounds since, like I said, basically August. 57 pounds since August, and 5 sizes. And that just blows my mind away, because I honestly had no expectation of that. And it was just this amazing bonus of the CBD oil, to have this weight loss happen. And then I started hearing from people on our team that, lo and behold, they also had experienced weight loss and weren't even necessarily on a special eating program. They had lost weight. And so that to me was just amazing. And I was like, okay, this product clearly, hi Mindy, this product clearly is just a godsend, and it's brought so much health and well-being to my life. It's changed the quality of my life, and that is, it's so important. And I just want to share that. I want to share it with everybody. I want everybody to know what it can do for you. And that not all CBD is created equal. Right now, since the hemp farm bill was signed into law, the farm bill, sorry, not the hemp farm bill, but the farm bill was signed into law, it meant that hemp is no longer regulated the way it had been before with marijuana. It's no longer lumped in with marijuana. It is from the cannabis plant, but they are different species from the cannabis plant, and they're more like cousins to each other. And so you got your marijuana has low CBD and high THC, and the hemp plant has high CBD and low THC. So 85 cannabinoids in hemp. And in the marijuana, the high THC is why that needs to continue, or is regulated. It's because of the high THC, which causes you to feel high. That's not the case with hemp. It does not make you feel high. And now that it's no longer regulated, so there's good and bad to that. So the good part is, yay, people who maybe before weren't able to take it because their employers, or because it was still regulated, they couldn't take it. Well, now they can. But the problem, the con to all of this is that because it's no longer regulated, oh my gosh, are you seeing it pop up everywhere? Hemp CBD here, hemp CBD there, and you got people literally like selling it in grocery stores. And so I've had people say to me, oh, look at this one, it's so much cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, it's so much cheaper for a reason. It's cheaper for a reason, because it doesn't have the quality. And you need that quality. To just pick up any CBD oil off the shelf and think that you're going to get the same results, it's not going to happen, guys. You need to have the good quality, pure CBD from the hemp plant. And so that's what's so important. I just want to share that information with you because, you know, there are certain things that are absolutely critical for you to do, to look at when buying your CBD oil. Number one, like I said, that it be from the hemp plant, because that is where you're getting all of your cannabinoids from, okay? So have it be from the hemp plant, number one. Number two, you see the color of this bottle? This bottle is amber. You want the bottle to be amber. You want the bottle to be glass. All right. And you want, and then the other thing is there should be ingredients listed. You should have an ingredients list. And then also what should be available to you and you should be able to look at is third-party testing. And all of that is available with this product. All right, so all of that is available with this product. You get the third-party testing. You get the amber bottle, as you can see. This product is grown in the U.S. It is harvested in the U.S. using a special CO2 extraction method that protects it from pathogens. That and then the third-party testing checks it for things like molds and makes sure that it is as pure as it can be. The only ingredients in this is hemp oil from the entire hemp plant. So CBD and hemp. So don't have anybody tell you that you want the kind with water in it, because what you're getting is water. You're buying very, very expensive water. And the fact that our bodies are water soluble, well, guess what? Our bodies are also fat soluble. Yes, and so you want this oil. It's a healthy oil that is going to give your body all kinds of amazing benefits. Hi, Bernardita. So it's very important that you have something that is pure and something that is, you know, like I said, in this amber bottle, you want it to be a glass bottle. You want it to be, and you want to know where it came from. So like I said, ingredients. You want to have the third-party testing. You want to know where it came from. Like I said, ours came straight from a farm in Kentucky called Gencana. And that farm, like I said, we have the special CO2 extraction method, and the elixir from the hemp plant then is extracted and third-party tested to make sure that it's safe and pure, and then put into these bottles. The only thing that is ever added besides the hemp and CBD is the flavoring, in case you want more than just a natural flavoring. We have a peppermint, which is a natural peppermint oil that's been added for flavor, or also a cinnamon, again, a natural cinnamon oil for flavor. My personal favorite's the peppermint. I like that. The natural is kind of got a little bit of a earthy taste to it, I guess you'd say. So not my favorite, but I do like the peppermint. I also tried the cinnamon and it was okay, but I prefer peppermint. The peppermint comes in both with THC and without THC. Now, I know I just mentioned before that it's the marijuana plant that has high THC and low CBD versus the hemp plant that has high CBD and low THC. Now, the legal limit for THC in hemp CBD, in CBD, period, in CBD, is 0.3, okay, 0.3. Our CBD, the one that has THC, is only 0.03, okay? So it's only 0.03, so it's less than what is the legal limit for the THC. Now, and so for individuals, though, who are still subject to drug testing, we do recommend you get the THC free, because we wouldn't want anything to show up. It is a trace amount, but we wouldn't want you to, you know, have to worry about whether or not you would pass those testing. So you can get the THC free, and of course it still has all the wonderful cannabinoids in it, the CBD. So those are the oils. We also have other products, and I know you've heard me talk about the coffee, and I absolutely love coffee. And what's great about those is that they come in individual packets, and so you can actually, you know, it comes in a pack of 30, and you can get one, so you can have like one of those a day, and it can actually replace your oil dose for that. You know, like I usually take it twice a day. It's just drops. The drops, you know, are a great way to check your dosing. I'm going to just kind of show you. See, and this is what it looks like too. You see how dark it is? That's important too, because if your CBD oil is clear, then you're not getting CBD. You are not getting CBD. You're paying for something else, oil, and you're not paying for actual CBD. So you want it to be nice and dark like this, but not murky. Okay, so see how pretty it is? Yeah, it's very pretty. And so you just do drops under the tongue, because that is the easiest delivery method. It goes straight into then your bloodstream, and works quickly too. And so so that's the way that you want to take it. We are the dosage per day is up to 20 drops. And we usually recommend that you maybe split your drops up to twice a day, and start out slow and then build. Like I personally have not had to go beyond 7 drops twice a day, but my husband, he has to have all 20 drops in a day in order for it to be effective for him. So yeah, so you know, it just depends on you, and that's why we say kind of start out slow and then build as you go. But anyway, I don't know if you feel like you can relate to anything that I've shared tonight. You know, the struggles that we deal with. You know, dealing with weight loss issues, dealing with health issues, and just being able to find a product that can help, that can give you back your life, give you quality of life, and help you to be able to just you know, have that that hope again. You know, that hope that you can, okay, I actually I feel great, and I feel like I can participate in life again, and feel like there's hope for the future, and that I'm gonna be healthy enough to be able to do all the things with my family that of course is my heart and what I want to do, you know. And so I just wanted to share that with you tonight, share a little bit of my heart. If you can relate to it, you know, just drop me a comment. Just tell me a little bit about your story. I would love to hear what your struggles are, and I would love to offer any help. You know, even if you wanted tips on with regards to low carb eating, if you wanted tips with regard to other healthy alternatives, like I said, we've been you know, moving that way in our lives to eliminate those products that have pollutants, and moving to a more organic lifestyle. And so, you know, if you have questions, or if you just want to share, I would love to hear from you. And you know, let's just be friends, sharing with friends, and, you know, helping each other out. And if you know somebody that you feel like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, this person needs to hear this, because, you know, I've mentioned the things that it's helped me with, but oh my gosh, you guys, I've heard so many testimonies of so many people that have been helped with so many different conditions. There are just too many for me to even mention here, but if you were to Google hemp CBD and then a condition, you would see all kinds of, testimonies, and you would find all kinds of information on the benefits and the relief that people are experiencing from their symptoms and from their conditions and diseases. Literally, people who are able to go off of medications. One of the things I didn't mention was that I had asthma, completely gone. Now, I'm, going to give you a disclaimer right here in order to stay compliant, and that is that I'm not saying that this product cures any disease or condition, okay? I'm not trying to say that at all. What I am saying, giving you, is my experience. I'm giving you my testimony of what it's done for me and my family, and the fact that I've also heard what it's done for so many others. And so I just want you to understand that, in no way, shape, or form am I promising that it's going to cure you of any condition or disease. But can I just say this, that you have nothing to lose? I mean, what do you really have to lose? On top of it, this company happens to offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. That is like, there's no risk. That's zero risk, because you get a full 60 days to try it out. If after that period of time you feel like it didn't do anything for you, or you don't like it, then all you have to do is send back the empty bottle and you'll get your money back. So where's the risk in that? Isn't it worth your health? Isn't it worth, feeling better, your quality of life, to just give it a try? I mean, that's the way I felt. That's the way I felt about, my daughters. I was like, we've got to try. We've got to try it, because we've tried everything else. And the one thing that we can say with certainty is that there is no side effects with CBD. None. Zero, zilch, no side effects. It's amazing. And so you can't say that about anything that your doctor's going to prescribe you. So I just, like I said, just wanted to share my heart with you tonight. I hope that you all are doing well on this beautiful Tuesday night. And I hope that you all stayed safe during our little snowstorm. And hopefully the roads were actually pretty good today, and so I'm thinking as long as it doesn't snow, we should be good for the rest of the week. But they are talking more on the weekend, and so I'm like, well, the weekend's okay with me because I don't have to drive to work those days, so it can go ahead and snow as long as the roads are all clear by Monday, right? Who's got me on that, right? Who's with me? Anyway, guys, that's all I had to share tonight. Like I said, if you relate, if you know somebody who needs to hear this, then please share it with them. Please tag them. Please let me know. I want to, offer any assistance that I can. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Remember to do that self-care that we talked about. And God bless you. Have a wonderful night.